All right, guys, here we go. Arm day. So this is a Strive preacher curl. So I like to make sure there's no big gap under my arm here, because when I have a big gap, then I tend to use my shoulders to pull it up. So I always make sure that I have virtually no gap under my arm. Pull up, squeeze at the top. Again, you don't have to close your grip. Now, this handle's wide, so I usually take a really wide grip, like here. Okay, so that helps my peak on my bicep stick up a little bit more. So I've gotten a habit of doing really wide grips on straight bar, curl bar, anything. You can also go in here. Oh, that typically hits straight up and down the middle of the bicep. And you can even use the inner grip for forearms if you want. Okay, now we're moving on to this curl bar of some sort. It's different. I've never used one of these before, but I do like it because the space in here is a little bit closer together. So it makes it a little bit easier to curl. Then I go all the way down, let my biceps stretch at the bottom, and pull up. You can do partial reps if you want. So you can stop shy about right here and pull them up. But no matter what, if you can just squeeze and you get to the top, you can really get some nice development in your arms. Have I mentioned how much I like working out? Because I love it. All right, now we're going to do this single arm cable curl with the preacher bench pulled up here. Mike always pulls this thing up. So I try to keep my arms straight in line with the pulley. And I kind of pull up and then kind of go out. I'm not twisting my wrist, actually. I'm just actually trying to twist my arm to help make that bicep pop a little bit more. So, see where it's at. I'm thinking maybe right about there. Maybe that much bigger. Let me know what you think. Used to, I didn't want them to be out of proportion with the rest of me, but since I don't think I'm going to be competing anymore, it doesn't really matter. You got to have really huge looking arms. Okay, so now we put a curl bar on here. We're going to do one last set. Typically we do 3 sets, but we thought we'd just pump a little bit more blood into the biceps, so we're doing this one with the curl bar. And so, same principle, you want to pull up, squeeze at the top, and down. I keep a light grip on my hands because it doesn't need to be a death grip of any kind. Just try to visualize your biceps. Just try to think about it being a big ball, and you're trying to pump it all as much as you can to get it bigger and bigger. Sometimes that helps with your training. Yeah. Okay, now we're going to do overhead tricep extensions. So people do skull crushers. If you're going to do skull crushers, they come down to the top of your head, right about your skull. That's why they call them skull crushers. But I'm going to angle this back, do overhead. This actually hits that really long head of the tricep, which is underneath, part that goes from your underarm out to your elbow. You want to try to push out and squeeze here at the top and back down. Try to use full range of motion. I go down as far as I can. I can't go any further than that. And up. And then if I want to do a few close grip, I can bring it over the top of my chest and then just push straight up. Those don't feel too bad. Okay, now we're moving on to this tricep pushdown with the V-bar. So I'm going to lean over just a little bit instead of standing up straight. So it seems to put a little bit more emphasis on my tricep when I do this versus standing up straight. I still feel it, but not quite as much as this. So just try it. There's different ways you can do everything. As long as you have good form, you shouldn't have a problem with getting hurt. So experiment. Okay, now we're going to finish up with some dips. Now we're actually facing away from the machine. This is actually how it is designed to be used. Put your feet under the roll pads there, but we turn around and face the machine on occasion, and especially to do dips for chest. So I try to keep my back up against this, because if you lean forward again, it's going to hit your chest a little bit. I try to stay up straight as I can. When I get right here, my wrist wants to bend on my left side, so I have to kind of be careful, because you see I'm pulling myself away from the back just because my wrist is bending. So anyway, push down, squeeze the bottom, and up.